Please help me welcome Ashley Rates with RiOak Western Design. Folks, put your hands together for Ashley.
Well, hello. Whenever I came, there were so many familiar faces, and I said, oh my goodness, this is going to be like presenting to one of my paint classes that I do. So, hello. I'm Ashley, and this is my husband, Clinton, and we are the co-owners of RiOak Western Design. RiOak was founded in 2012, and we named our business after our two little girls, Riley and Oakley. We are a sign-making business based out of Cole Camp. So, as you can see, we truly are like the American dream. We started our business right at our kitchen table. So, Clinton, you will see over there, he was literally working from a little table outside. And when the weather was bad, we'd put the Easy Up tent, so he had it really great. And then we painted from the kitchen table, and then I graduated to a little 6-foot table there in our dining room, as you can see all the toys around. And I have my bachelor's degree in gerontology, so I've been a social worker, I've done marketing for nursing homes, and then Clinton is a diesel technician by trade, so he worked as a manager out at Foley Caterpillar. And here we started doing this to help supplement to pay for daycare, since we were going to have 2 kiddos in daycare. So I thought, I'll paint signs. And Clinton probably thought it was another harebrained idea that I had, but he went along with it, and I think he's glad that he did now. So we started painting signs, and we got a Facebook business page. So we had no idea the power that Facebook held for our business, and we started posting projects that we did, and then all of a sudden people started contacting us to start painting custom signs for them. So we were like, sure, yeah, we can do that. So we started taking on all of the custom work that we could, and then word of mouth spread from our family and friends, and then we just started going to some craft shows, and one summer we did the local Sedalia area farmers market. And then I like to say that RiOak really became RiOak whenever we were contracted with the Isle of Capri to be a vendor for them to start building their displays. So our little hobby business that was just supposed to help pay for daycare very quickly turned into a full-time business. So at this point, I quit my job, and I had 80 sign orders on the books, and we had a contract with Isle of Capri to build an 18-foot pier for them. I say we, Clinton did most of that. And so he did that, and then so we've done displays for Boonville, and we've also done them for the Cape Girardeau location. So why do so many choose RiOak? Our process, we purchase our lumber from 3 local lumber yards that are around. It takes all 3 of them to keep us in lumber at this point. We hand cut and sand all of our boards to size. We build big signs, we make small signs. We have all different kinds of signs that we do. Then I design every sign that we have on our computer program, and I print out a template, and we paint from a stencil at this point. Whenever I first started out, I hand painted everything, but as our business grew, I could not keep up with that. So we do paint everything from stencils. And then we have a special aging and finish technique that we use, and on the back of all of our signs, we have the RiOak stamp of approval. And then we are able to package and ship our signs out, and then we also offer local pickup for our customers. So our quality is a number 1 key for us. We hope when people pick up a RiOak sign that you know that you have touched quality. You can go to some of your larger retail stores, and you can tell that they're pressed wood, they've been printed on, and quite frankly, they're probably not made here in the United States. And so we make sure that quality is a number 1 key for us, and that comes in with picking out the raw lumber, the right kind of lumber, and whatnot. So we offer custom framing on our signs. We do put a sealer on every sign. That's something that kind of sets us apart from other sign-making companies. We put hangers, and then we also put felt pads on the back of all of our framing pieces, so it protects the walls. And then we can also build any of your signs to fit the space that you need. So if you see something that's like a 12-inch by 12-inch, we can make it a 36-inch by 36-inch. And then the neat part about our business with the process that we have developed is we are able to repeat our process. And so even though you are receiving a handmade item, it's going to be made especially for you because each paint stroke is different, but you can still get that duplicate sign. So a really neat thing happened this year, guys. We were nominated as the 2017 Best of Craft Person, so we were honored with that. And then the Democrat came out and did a big article about us, so that was something that was really neat. So I think this year, we've been in business almost 5 years now, and I think we've arrived, so that's kind of neat. So this is just a collage here, kind of showing that, yes, we truly do make everything. And it's me designing on the computer and Clinton cutting. And this was a little photo shoot that we did. And so I'm really not in the shop standing with Clint as much anymore, but I used to be. But so that was just for pictures' sakes. And then down here, you can see Mindy. We have 2 full-time employees, and Mindy is stamping the back of all of our signs. We have a custom stamp that goes on them. These are some of our finished products here. As you can see, Clinton builds custom furniture as well. That's a 14-foot farm table that he built for a local cattle company down south of Warsaw. And then tractor beds and all different kinds of custom work that we've done. So where do we sell our products? We sell it on our Facebook group page, which is RiOak Sign Sales and Events. We sell on there often. We've been selling on Etsy for the last 2.5 years. And then we were also chosen as one of 3,500 businesses that launched with a new program that Amazon had, and it's called Amazon Handmade. So we were one of the businesses that launched with them, and we've been selling there for over a year. We also host 3 shows a year, one of them being a juried RiOak Fall Market, which is September 23rd of this year. It's our 4th annual one. And we had 1,000 people come out last year, so that's pretty big in Cole Camp. So it's as big as Cole Camp. So that was a really neat process for us. And then we've just recently been accepted as a vendor for Vintage Market Days. I don't know if any of you all are familiar with those, but they are really hard to get into as a vendor. There are hundreds of applications that go in, and then they pick out the best of the best. And so we have just recently been chosen to be a vendor through Vintage Market Days. And then we also do some local events. So other products and services that we offer is large hand-painted wood business signs, corrugated metal decor. Clinton takes down old barns, and then we create designs. He creates, I design, he does all of the work with it. So he cuts them out by hand with a plasma cutter. And then obviously custom furniture, and then we also have a wedding and event rental. So our future is we hope to increase our website, really work on it, and then we are also wanting to expand in our apparel that we just got started in December. And then in the future, we want to build a storefront that will house our paint shop and woodworking shop. We just purchased 3 acres last year that it joins our acreage at our house, and so we hope to do that. And then we obviously want to continue to expand our products into other markets, with the #1 key of keeping quality with the growth of our business. So, this is our contact information, and I guess we're open for questions now. I did it, pretty quickly. So Clinton's up here with me that he can answer any, questions that you might have. I was going to have him help, but he kind of talks a little bit slower than I do. I'm like, we don't have time to switch over. So anyway, so here we are. We are open for questions. Yes?
What challenges did you meet when you went from just the 2 of you operating the business and bringing on some full-time staff?
That's a great question. Basically teaching them the process and the
attention to detail would probably be a big challenge, bringing in new people.
So they don't know what our quality is, and so you kind of have to teach that. So every sign Clinton and I both touch, and so it's trying to have that trust with people, turning over that power, I guess you could say. We're not power, but turning over that responsibility to them. That's kind of hard to do. Yes.
Ashley, can you share with my students the decision-making process of it going from a small hobby business to your full-time careers and what factors?
Yes, that's a good question too. I was exhausted and tired, and I still am now, but I had my bachelor's degree. I was working full-time, and Clinton was working full-time, and it got to the point to where we either were not able to keep up with the orders coming in and do that and work full-time. So we literally were going to work, and then we would come home, and we would work until 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning. And we are also obviously full-time parents, and so we had to keep family as a number one priority. And being married, that's kind of a priority too. And so, it was kind of one of those decisions. It was either quit working and pursue the business, or it was to keep working and not do the business anymore. And so at that point, it was, we were young, or we are young, and, why not take the risk? I will always have my degree to go back to if I need it, and so that was one of the things that, we thought, let's go for it. And so then I was really shocked. I didn't have the breadwinning job. Clinton did. He was a manager at Foley Caterpillar. And so the day that he walked in and handed me a picture on his phone, and it was his resignation letter, woo! I hope I don't cry, because it was like, we are really doing this. So, the whole decision was basically just to go for it. If you're young and you have that opportunity to do it, do it. We just had a family and a house payment. What's that? But we did. We pulled it off. So I quit my job, and within a year, I had grown the business enough and had so many orders coming in. Clinton was still at that point, because at that point, I would go down and cut and sand all of my orders. And then I would paint them, and Clint would come in and finish them at night. And it got to the point where we got so busy that he was still working until 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning. And it's like, this isn't solving anything. And he came out with his resignation letter. So does that answer everything? Okay. Yes.
So you shared, I've been to your classes when you were in
Yes.
And you know how much I miss those. And I just missed one, it sounds like. Anyway, when I've been to your guys' place, I always end up buying something other than what I go there for, teaching with my kids or whatever. But one of the things that you guys have done, you're talking about your personal touch. And we just moved, and so we took our home sign that you made us.
Yes.
And my husband said, I'm so glad you had Clinton actually sign this on the back. So you guys really do take this personal and really give it your quality, and you're so patient. At what point do you decide, like in this case, your classes, we used to have them constantly. How have you dealt with people like me who still want our classes, but you really are so busy? How do you deal with managing that? Because you're doing a great job with it.
Thank you. Our business has, I think anybody who's in business knows that it turns, and you have certain demands, and then it also, honestly, it comes down to money. And so whenever it comes down to it, we either give up our weekends with our kids and do the classes, or we can sell on Amazon and make about the same amount and still have our weekends off. And so we know that there is a need for that, because people are always messaging about classes and whatnot. But, there just came a point to where we had to choose our family or the business, and so we obviously chose family and business. So we're still able to, maintain that. But then we're also able to have our weekends, which is kind of nice, because when you work 7 days a week for a year, anybody can get burnt out, even if you have a passion like we do for it. And so we still try to offer a couple of classes around the holiday type times, but we chose to try to balance family and work life a little bit better.
Do you have a storefront?
We don't. That's what we're hoping, and this will actually kind of answer a little bit of Carla's question as well. What we're hoping to do in the next 2 to 3 years is we would like to build a building. We just purchased 3 acres. We live on 15 acres, and so we purchased 3 acres, and we would like to build our storefront. It's right there by our home, and then house our paint shop and our wood shop all in one building. So we're thinking it's going to probably take about an 8,000 to 10,000 square foot building, which hence why this is like a 3-year project from now, because that's, it's pricey. But we are hoping to have a little country store is what I would like to have with all of our products and still do our events. And then in that store, we are hoping to have farm-style tables that will have a whole painting nook where people can just come in and not even have to book reservations. So that's my goal. Yes, hi.
How big can you get?
Well, I'm 4'10". You mean the signs?
How large can this business be?
I think it can go big. I really honestly do. I don't know as if I necessarily want to get into a factory style mode because I really think your quality goes out the door then, but we can hire more employees. We are probably processing close to 600 signs a month right now that we ship out, and we are worldwide at this point. We've shipped to Australia and England and Canada, Mexico, all 50 states. So what do you want to answer that? You want to?
It's as big, it'll get as big as we want it to. And we're the only limiting factors on when it stops growing. And we're young, and we're not afraid to keep pushing to get it to that point where it's like, okay, now we're satisfied and it's time to start retiring or whatever, and then pass it on to our daughters.
That's the other point too. That's a good point, Clint, about we're building something for our kids. I mean, it's named after them, and so we're hoping, if that is something that they would like to, do whenever they get older, that's why we're trying to get into kind of apparel and really grow the business to, do a whole gamut of things really. So hopefully that they will, be able to help us run the business, and then we can, retire down to Florida one day or something. But.
So next is your own website? Is that kind of?
We have a website now, but it doesn't have our products up on it. I also do coaching sessions for other business on how to sell on Facebook. I'm a Facebook coach. And so that just kind of houses that. So what we're hoping to do is get our apparel and our signs up on the website within a year. So I have some kind of neat ideas that I want to do with that, like a weekly steal and whatnot, but it takes time to do a website, and time is that's probably one of our biggest limiting factors, is having the time with having a handmade business.
So far, selling on your website hasn't been necessary with Amazon and Facebook.
That is correct. At this point, yes. We have 2 full-time employees and a couple of part-time employees, and we were actually just talking, we are next week, whenever we get home from Wichita, we're leaving to go to Wichita today. So I hope if you guys don't think that we're being rude, we're gonna have to jet out. We have to unload at Vintage Market Days at 4 o'clock today. It's about a 4.5-5 hour drive with our trailer. So we are gonna jet out after this. But yes, with selling at the shows and all of that, it's hasn't been necessary yet, but it's like I said, I want more employees and I want to be big. So, hopefully this year we can kind of get that launched.
Yes. You said you're worldwide. So what challenges did you face in expanding internationally, and how did you overcome those?
It actually was a very smooth transition for us. Amazon and Etsy already kind of has that set up for you. So basically once we create, we get the order and the money comes to us, and so we package it and ship it like we do any other. Now for our own website, it would probably be a little bit different, but Etsy and Amazon already have that in place, and so it was not a hard transition. It was just a simple click on there to say that we would. Now shipping is astronomical when you talk about, we shipped, Clinton has metal cows. It was $25 to ship this 15-inch metal cow to Australia. And then somebody paid $51 shipping for a bunny to go to Australia here the other day. It was way more than what the product was. So it's kind of amazing, what people really are. So probably the cost is the hardest part with people being, worldwide, wanting to pay for shipping.
And the addresses, I think, is a challenge too with that, is because their
you can't read them.
are completely different than what we're used to working with here, and that's can be a challenge at times. And
Google has a really neat thing that you can translate. So I had a message come in, and since I'm from Colcamp, I knew that it was in German, but I did not know anything that it said. And so you can go into Google and actually translate it, and it was just like a normal message. So I was able to message them back. So I told them to go into Google. I hope Google is a word in Germany, and told them to translate that over. But that's probably a language barrier. Would be hard to connect with people too if they don't speak English. Yes.
Do you have a business manager that helps you with some of this that you're
I do not. Yeah, I do not. Yeah. So, the hard part.
That's us two over a cup of coffee.
I was going to say that it's something that
it is.
you need.
Yes, it
You
is.
can't do everything.
Amen to that. Okay. Yes.
Were you able to do through this on the financing side on your own as you grew and able to keep up with that, or did you have to get financing as you got bigger?
As whenever we first started out the business, we didn't. And then whenever I quit my job, we did go and take out a small business loan of $5,000. And we purchased a new computer, and that's when we purchased our plotter, our cutter that we had for our stencils, and kind of did a startup with everything that I was going to need to start the business being at home full time. So when I did that, we went and invested in nicer equipment and bulk paint and all of that kind of stuff so I could do it full time. So we did have that. And then since then, we have taken out another $5,000 loan just to help with getting into the shows. It's expensive, to get into some of the bigger shows, and then to have the bulk of lumber. I mean, sometimes we can look at a lumber bill that's $2,000, and then we have our payroll and, with our sealer. I mean, so that, whenever we go to create in bulk, at times we do need that extra cash flow coming in until we can sell our product. So. Because sometimes we might only just be selling on Amazon and Etsy and really back off and not do any kind of sales online. So we might not have a whole lot of income coming in for, 3 weeks. And so that's kind of hard, with all of your business costs and employees. So, but only 2 times. So, yeah. Any other questions? Yes.
Every time we've come out to your house, we've had a family everywhere, from Santa Claus to the bunny rabbit to picture takers. And you've told us that you could have done, Mrs. Rates, who works at the high school, so was to us.
Yes.
Your family has been just a very strong part of this as a total. And so your support system, if you don't have a strong family system or community, what would you advise our students to do? Because I know hearing you is very inspiring. Your family's been a piece.
I don't know if we will answer that because I'll probably start crying. So I'm going to turn that over to Clinton. Because yes, they have been amazing. So I'm going to let you answer that. So I'm not up here ugly
Do
crying.
you need to rephrase it?
No, family is.
I want to make you cry too.
Family is definitely a huge part of it, but to answer your question, if you don't have that kind of family support to help you start a business, then what do you do? Well, you find good people and surround yourself with good people, and don't, if you're a negative person in your life, don't let them be your friend. Find good friends.
Thank you.
Any more questions? No? Okay, I have a final question.
Okay.
All right, Clinton and Ashley, thank you so much for being here today.
Yes, thank you.
have a room full of community supporters.
Yes.
So what can we as a community do for you and your business?
Probably the main thing is honestly like us on Facebook and share and like and comment. And we are really one of our passions is having our RiOak Fall Market. And I really want it to be something big and an activity to do for the community. So, if you could come out in September and share that. We actually have a Facebook page that's dedicated just for the RiOak Fall Market now. So that's really something that we take pride in, is that juried event that we do. And we handpick, all of the makers that come. So it's not, it's a good quality show. So I guess to come out to our shows that we have, 3 times a year and share and like us on Facebook. And if you need a sign, you can shop with us on Etsy. So.
Thank you both for being here.